Right, story time, and y'all know my stories always contain some knowledge. You know, it's like 2012, me and my best friend, every time we got our taxes, we would file it right away, first day. That way we the first people getting it back. You know what I mean? Don't gotta wait for when it gets all polluted with all the people submitting their taxes. Well, this particular year, it didn't come back within 2 weeks like it normally did. Then after like 3 weeks, we were talking like, man, what's going on? We normally got our taxes back by now. Yeah, me too. Then like a week after that, he calls me, says he got a letter in the mail saying that the tax is going to take 3 more months. He's like, oh man, your taxes ain't going to come for another 3 months. I said, hey, don't speak that on me. That's your experience. That's not my experience. No, I got a letter. It's true for me. It's true for you too. Because we did the same thing. I said, nah, that ain't true for me. And I hung up the phone immediately. Now, where my mind was at is I had just got done watching this video on this research that was done with random number generators, where they would run a sequence of like 1,000 numbers, and they would run it 100 times, and every single one of those times, no one number came up in any abnormal fashion. You know, like I'll make it up. Like no one number came up more than 15 times. You know, whatever it was. And so then they got a group of people together, and they would have those people pick a number. And then, you know, it'd be like 20 people. I'll make it up. I don't know the exact details. It was 10 years ago. But they would pick a number, and then everyone hold their attention and visualize that number, and then they would go and run the random number generator. And the number that they all had their attention on is a number that came up way more times than any other number. It was like 100. It'll come up 100 times, and then the other numbers would come up, 5, 6, 7, 8 times. So they were able to realize that our consciousness has an effect on the future. Now, then they were like, well, let's see about the past. And so they would run the random number generator first. First, they would run 100 times to make sure, still, again, no abnormalities. Then they would run it again, have the group of people come in, the group of people pick the number, and then they put their attention on that number and visualize it. And then they look at the results. And the number that they picked and started visualizing came up abnormally again as the most common number. 100 times it came up, whatever it was. And so through this video, it was like, oh, you can change the future. Your consciousness has an effect on the future and the past. Now, like I tell y'all all the time, don't just believe anything. I've always been like that. I didn't just believe it. Yeah, it sounded true, in the findings, but it could have been just making that shit up. I don't know. But I was like, I'm going to make an experience for myself and find out. I'm going to put it to practice right now. Because as soon as I woke up from that phone call, I want my tax money. So I closed my eyes. I visualized for like 5 minutes the money in my account. Open up my eyes. Open up my bank account. $3,333.33. You cannot change your past just as much as you change your future. But your level of belief of being able to change the past will greatly